Hello, everyone. I'm Scott Bardon, your host for today's virtual launch of the AI Lead. I'm thrilled to have you join us as we dive into one of the most critical conversations for modern leaders, mastering the AI age. When Brian shared his vision for the book, I was immediately on board. His focus on overcoming data drag. Hello, everyone. I'm Scott Bardon, your host for today's virtual launch of the AI Lead. I'm thrilled to have you join us as we dive into one of the most critical conversations for modern leaders, mastering the AI age. When Brian shared his vision for the book, I was immediately on board. His focus on overcoming data drag, accelerating digital leadership, and driving meaningful transformation deeply resonated with my own experiences. As the SVP of Global Seller Experience at Salesforce, I led the integration of AI into the daily workflows of 25,000 globally dispersed customer-facing colleagues. Through initiatives like Project Renew, we saved millions of hours, boosted productivity, and increased seller net promoter score by 15%. These aren't just stats, but they're proof of AI's power to truly revolutionize business. When I started on my journey 2 years ago, I searched for actionable guidance and found most resources lacking practical steps for applying AI in scenarios like mine. That's why the AI Lead stood out. It's not just about big ideas, but also about breaking down the AI opportunity into clear, trackable steps. This book empowers leaders to challenge orthodoxies, focus on impactful insights, and drive innovation. At Salesforce, these principles helped us to increase close rates, free up time for meaningful customer engagement, and tackle real business challenges, not just limiting busy work. I'm excited to hand it over to Brian and Eric to walk you through these powerful perspectives and tools firsthand. Let's get started.
Hey, thanks, Scott. I really appreciate it. Hi, everybody. Brian Lambert here, and I want to take a moment to. Hey, thanks, Scott. I really appreciate it. Share what I've done on this journey and frame up the AI landscape and why I wrote the AI Lead. For me, it comes down to one thing: customers. The people that we serve need more comprehensive, forward-leaning, and quite frankly, more empathetic solutions. It's been said that 2025 is the year of the agent. Think about that for a moment. Many of us already use AI every day, whether it's powering our searches, curating our content, or automating parts of our work. AI is everywhere, and I think it's reshaping our lives. But here's what's important. AI isn't just a tool. It's a rapid advancement of so many different things. AI is a collaborator, it's a decision maker, it's a force multiplier. And soon it's going to be deployed inside the organization as well. But here's the challenge. Are you ready for that shift? Are you ready to make that happen? Are you ready to lead alongside AI? I think when I talk about AI, I'm reflecting what many executives are struggling with. They see AI as a game changer. It's impacting tasks, it's projects, and strategy. It's redefining how we lead, collaborate, and make decisions. So believe this: AI is more than a chatbot. Let me say that again. AI is more than a chatbot. It's more than a productivity tool. It's now becoming a business strategy that requires us to rethink how we lead, collaborate, and make decisions. So let me be clear on this. I believe that AI is a strategy. A majority of companies are now leveraging AI, and it's no longer a futuristic concept. When I say AI is a strategy, what I mean is it's a booster of the strategy. AI is shaping how organizations operate and innovate and align to customers and prospects and markets, just like Scott shared in the opening slides. AI can drive faster decisions than humans, optimize processes in real time, and unlock new value from data. But this only happens when leaders see AI as part of their core business approach. AI is also a collaboration key. The most successful organizations are recognizing that humans and AI actually need to work together. It's not about replacing people, it's about enhancing human potential. For example, AI attending meetings as one of the team members or as a coworker. Third, leadership matters. In this AI-enabled world, leadership is more important than ever. Navigating this change requires vision, adaptability, and the ability to lead both people and systems effectively. So ultimately, AI isn't just about solving problems, it's reshaping industries, creating new opportunities, and that's a leadership challenge. That is a leadership opportunity because AI as a strategy will move us forward faster in more agile ways if we execute. We have to be able to execute and make these things happen. I believe we're entering a fundamental shift from the age of attention to the age of intention. It's no longer enough to simply capture people's attention. We must be intentional about how we harness AI's generative capabilities. But what does that mean? It means we need to rethink leadership frameworks and balance speed and empathy. To do that, we have to overcome data drag. Many organizations are stuck because they can't manage their data effectively. They don't even know where their data is that generative AI needs to use. This phenomenon that I call data drag slows down decision-making and innovation. To lead successfully in this new era, we need to remove those bottlenecks and ensure AI systems can process data effectively. To do that, we need to deploy a speed layer. This is a conceptual framework that helps us organize, make faster decisions in real time. The speed layer can be a game changer. It allows organizations to respond to customer needs, market changes, and create a competitive advantage. I'll explain more and provide a canvas for this speed layer later on in this webinar. And that means we need to have more empathy. Strategy is now going to be about who can be more empathetic to their customers, not just do things to their customers with AI, but do things better with them with AI. That means we need to rethink leadership frameworks that are all about doing and having more volume and more activity to actually leveraging AI to get closer to customers, to think about things from their perspective, and to gain more empathy. That means we have to break down these elements. We have to understand the data. We have to organize that data and deliver it so that AI can capture it in the speed layer. And then we have to align it to empathy. These concepts are what I put into my book, The AI Lead. And it's already making waves. Just launching 12 hours ago, the AI Lead has earned accolades across multiple domains, including for writing, for leadership, and for AI innovation. These international awards reflect the impact this book is going to have across the industries that they represent. I'm proud that it's won a Literary Titan Award, a Pinnacle Book Achievement Award, and the Firebird Book Award, showcasing its excellence in writing, leadership, and technologies. These are not just awards. Leaders are raving about the transformative insights that this book provides. I was in Atlanta late last year, and I had a person come up to me at the end of our panel discussion and say, "This AI stuff was super confusing and completely convoluted. I had no idea all of the moving parts, but now I understand how to think about it, and I know what questions I need to be asking." It's comments like that that bring about how intentional this project has been over the course of 3 or 4 years. This is not just a response to a fad. This journey started before ChatGPT even came out. With that said, this is just the beginning. Stay tuned as I share some of the things that we're doing in the market and things that you can participate in, such as our AI Lead strategy workshops coming to major cities. Let me just briefly share some of the concepts and tools in the context of the real world work that's happening in groundbreaking organizations. Just like Scott shared, the work that's happening at Salesforce is happening in a variety of different companies in a variety of different sizes and across every single industry. Uday from Databricks shares that this is a groundbreaking blueprint for leadership in the AI age. This book doesn't just explain the what, it shows you exactly how to take the lead. Thaddeus from Elastic emphasized that the book is a hyper montage of the hundreds of generative AI conversations he's had over the past year. And Anzar from Wells Fargo highlighted the clear, engaging style and the wealth of real world examples are invaluable resources. From consultants guiding smaller companies to global enterprises scaling AI, this book delivers a blueprint for success in the AI age. And I believe these powerful statements reflect the value and the impact that this resource brings, especially to leaders. So let me show you why. The AI Lead is organized into 5 parts, each building a clear path to accelerate digital dominance in the AI age. These parts give you, as a leader, the tools and the mindset and the frameworks to overcome challenges, embrace enterprise AI, and create meaningful, sustaining impact in your organization. Part 1 of the book is focused on digital transformation and AI leadership. Digital transformation is not done. Digital transformation is not over. It is an ongoing thing. The outcomes that come along with driving digital transformation are transformative, and it is not just an initiative or a project that is called and over and done with. It's essential to constantly be transforming in today's economy, and generative AI is a big catalyst for that. And that's why leadership is so important. Ensuring your organization is ready to compete requires that your people are also ready to compete. That means that we have to evolve our organizations. You have to drive innovation by aligning people, process, information, and technology, and AI will reshape how you think about your organization. I like to say that AI is just like your customers. It doesn't care how your company is organized. In fact, many of the structural silos that exist from the industrial age are not set up to be successful in the technology age and AI age that customers demand hyper-personalization and tailoring for content and initiatives. The key message here is that the future belongs to adaptable, AI-ready organizations, not to organizations that dig their heels in and protect silos. The next piece of this, the reason why the next piece is so important is it's talking about the team. And part 3 is leading teams in this AI-driven success and the collaborative environment that you'll find yourself in as you partner with AI bots and bring AI online to automate processes and provide better inputs to humans. This part equips leaders to guide their teams in this AI-enabled way. It focuses on building digital fluency, empowering people to work smarter with AI, and fostering a culture of innovation. Great leaders empower their teams to embrace change. Part 4 is all about managing data to fuel smarter decisions. Data is the fuel of the digital economy. It's the fossil fuel that gets consumed as people make smarter decisions. This section of the AI Lead focuses on integrating, storing, and orchestrating data. And that means data-led decisions are powering better outcomes with AI. And then finally, in the 5th part of the book, I talk about the customer's need for value and how value is evolving and value is changing. And I introduce the concept of the speed layer, which explores how to use machine learning and generative AI to deliver greater value to customers. The key message is the faster you act on data, the more empathetic you are to your customers and as an organization. The more empathetic the organization, the greater your impact. Using AI for better empathy, higher degrees of customer centricity, and a higher level of customer intimacy is a game changer. These 5 parts form a comprehensive guide for any leader. One early reviewer described it as a beacon for leaders striving to adapt. It's an AI treatise. And I'm going to dig now into each part a bit more so you can see how they work together. Obviously, we're focused on strategy and leadership, and leadership's required at every altitude of the organization. In the first part, Accelerate Digital, There are 5 chapters that lay the foundation for this shift. Chapter 1, the concept of going digital and what does that mean? Trust me when I say I start with the basics. We talk about what data is, and we use the concept of spreadsheets to help familiarize anybody with data and digital transformation. Chapter 2, we talk about digital transformation, focusing on how to structure digital strategies to deliver real sustainable outcomes. Chapter 3, I talk about digital organizations and what it means to be digitally mature and have digital maturity and data maturity in order to be successful. People need to be comfortable with data, and they need to have an understanding of how data can help be more customer-centric across the entire organization. And that leads to chapter 4, the evolution of digital roles and talent, and the new skills and roles required to succeed in the AI age. When you bring together the power of these new roles with the power of AI, you create a collective intelligence. The artificial intelligence plus the human intelligence, the human in the loop plus the artificial AI bot. This combination, this blend of collective capability creates an intersection of collaborations where the best decisions are made. At the core part of this first section of the book, we have to recognize that AI is not just a tool, it's a strategic advantage. In chapter 5 of the AI Lead, in that first part, I explore that concept of collective intelligence. The data value chain here comes from the book, and it helps illustrate the journey from raw data to wisdom. It shows how organizations can extract increasing value at each stage by improving their ability to interpret and act on data. I talk about this in chapter 5, where data is the starting point. Raw, unprocessed facts like sales numbers, customer feedback, or even sensor reading from drones. Information is what happens when that data is organized to provide meaning and context. Knowledge is applying that information to build expertise and solve problems. And understanding is deeper, actionable insight, knowing, for example, that weather patterns can affect regional sales. And finally, wisdom. It's the highest level. It's all about using these insights to proactively plan and predict outcomes. The key takeaway of the first part of the book is that data alone is not enough. Data inherently is not valuable. We have to capture that value. And that means we have to rely on the human aspect plus the artificial aspect, this collective intelligence, to guide our organizations to create more wisdom for customers, to be more empathetic and create an empathetic organization. From data to actionable wisdom, you can predict, plan, and lead with confidence in the AI age. The opposite is also true. No data, no AI. You're going to hear that AI is evolving. You're going to hear that 2025 is the year of the bot and the agent. The challenge with that is agents cannot work. AI cannot work without data. No data, no AI. No data, no knowledge, no wisdom, no agents. Organizations are investing heavily in this area to overcome this data drag. In part 2 of the AI Lead, I focus on creating a foundation for sustained growth. This part is about transforming outdated processes and business models into agile and sustainable ones. This section has 5 chapters. Chapter 6 is about digital dominance, and I introduce the concept of the digital dominance framework. And this digital dominance framework is the core organizational structure of the book. It's organized by tabs that you can actually see on the outside of the book. Chapter 7, AI excellence. It focuses on the safe and ethical use of AI to drive better outcomes. Many people are concerned about AI safety and AI ethics and this concept of AI governance. Chapter 7 is all about that. I also talk about in Chapter 8 what sustainable innovation looks like, as how organizations can stay innovative over the long term in rapidly changing markets. And what does it mean to be resilient in understanding AI's role in that? Chapter 10 or chapter 9 is about customer centricity. It talks about how AI can be used to better understand and serve your customers and to help them be successful in ways that you haven't even thought of. And that requires putting the customer first with the help of data and AI. Chapter 10 talks about the foundation of technical readiness and the readiness required, the technical foundations that many companies need to have in place. And quite frankly, they don't. They don't have the internal processes and technologies in place to harness AI. And it starts with the data. One thing you'll notice when you get a copy of the book is these tabs will help explain what I'm talking about. I added them because I believe they're helpful, a visual guide. And let me give you an example of what I mean by that. In the digital transformation initiatives that I've led, as organizations try to establish their competitive advantage, there are a lot of moving parts. From strategy to culture to technology, leaders must juggle many variables. On page 161 of the AI Lead, I introduced this digital dominance framework, and it serves as the core structure of the entire book. It's comprehensive 9-layer model that outlines the critical components organizations need. Why is that important? Because the reality is AI, generative AI, and agents are evolving rapidly. To keep up, organizations need more than just access and giving people tools. They need a structured approach to orchestrate AI systems, AI tools, and the humans involved to create collective intelligence. Each of these 9 layers, like strategy and culture and leadership, represent a key pillar that organizations must build. Without this alignment, you risk data silos, slow decision-making, fragmented AI initiatives, and AI initiatives that are dead on arrival. This is the primary framework that guides what it means to take the AI lead. This framework helps leaders cut through complexity, provide a clear roadmap for embedding AI across every layer of the organization in a way that is a competitive advantage, not just fragmented and random. In part 3 of the AI Lead, I focus on the impact of AI on humans and teams. It's not just about technology, it's also about how people evolve their roles, evolve their skills, and work in new ways. This section has 6 chapters, and I cover things like digital fluency, avoiding disruption, what it means to empower people with AI. And I talk about the concept of driving innovation and AI stewardship and what ethical AI use looks like, as well as data initiatives and a whole chapter on investment equations. How do you calculate in a simple way the cost of AI with its impact? How would you go about starting to figure out with the finance team how we can invest in AI and where we can start? Now, obviously, at the time of this writing, didn't have all the details, but the concept of where are we investing in our data, where are we investing in our speed layer, where are we investing in piloting, evolving, where are machine learning models, where are our data stores, are we going to deploy things that help our customers like search, etc. All of that's covered in the investment equations section or chapter of the book. And also the book in this part 3 concludes with a whole chapter on case studies. Basically, I wanted to cull through and pull as much as I could to help you and your teams put these ideas into action. The best way to do that is to move from theory and to explain how others have deployed AI. The AI Lead provides a wide range of real-world examples and case studies. There are over 35 different examples and case studies from real organizations that highlight how organizations are leveraging AI to drive innovation, optimize their operation, and solve complex challenges. These case studies span 18 different industries, giving you a comprehensive view of how AI is reshaping business in areas like smart cities, telecommunications, waste management, and urban planning. The variety of industries shows how AI's potential is limitless and how its impact is beyond traditional thinking. What's important is that through these case studies, we explore the impact of AI on the organization and the business. We have to understand the components that make AI successful through these stories and how people got started and where they chose to apply their resources. Helping organizations and helping yourself really through how organizations develop is really critical in how you think about deploying your resources and aligning your people. You'll see how organizations overcame data drag, how they built data speed layers, and how they unlocked the powerful impact of AI. Ultimately, the stories that I pulled together here are to help you understand how people are getting started and how organizations are evolving. But the impact and the creativity with AI is really unlimited. It comes down to your ability to execute and to take action. And that's what you see here in these 35 different case studies in this section of the book. In part 4 of the AI lead, I talk all about what it means to overcome data drag. Data drag in the book is the evil villain that's holding your organization back. It's the force that's lurking in the organization that's holding you back. I like to look at data like air. Nobody really owns the data inside your company. Nobody owns the air. But if you notice when you run out of air, you really get uncomfortable. The same thing here with data. If you don't have access to the data, when you run out of that data, you might as well be running out of air in the AI age. Data drag is what it means and what it looks like. It's the evil villain that slows down your ability to make decisions. It creates drag on your ability to respond. It creates drag on your ability to execute. It's a little bit more technical here in the section 4, but I've kept it high level enough for both business leaders and IT leaders to have meaningful conversations. The friction that is created by data drag creates fragmented systems, outdated processes, and overwhelmed data infrastructure. Data drag is what happens when data is trapped in silos, disconnected from where it's needed most. The idea that data exists in multiple different platforms, organizations must figure out how to harness it and not pay 5 or 6 times for the same amount of data. Here's the reality. AI, again, it's just like your customers. Neither of your customers or AI really cares how your functional org chart is structured. They don't care who reports to whom and how your teams are organized. They just want the value. You're going to see that with AI. The human need for attributions, the human need for departmental silos, the human need, these human constructs don't exist in AI when they're focused on driving value. It's like having a conversation. Having a conversation is not really easy to figure out where the knowledge came from. And you know what? We're going to have to figure out new ways to create value and measure that value in the AI age. That means your organization and your leadership team have to learn how to work differently. Traditional structures slow everything down. And what you're going to see is that those structures will start giving way. And that's why AI will act as a lubricant of these gears. It will reduce data drag and reduce friction and streamline how your organization delivers value by moving beyond hierarchies and silos. It's the technology that unlocks speed and agility. In this part of the book, I talk about what it means to manage data, integrate data, store data, and orchestrate data. I talk about what it means to actually break down silos and unlock insights. In the AI age, speed matters. Organizations that can overcome data drag and build a speed layer will gain a huge competitive advantage. But overcoming data drag is not just about technology. While data may be the number one issue in AI transformation that holds everything back, the number 2 challenge is people. People have to take their skills that they've developed for years and years and use those skills in new and creative ways to rethink processes and streamline data workflows. and actually create value outside in, not inside out. And in this part of the book, I talk about what that means. And I share practical strategies for you to break free from data drag. And the reason why this is so important and why it's so valuable is the organizations that can work outside in, that can build empathetic organizations, that can harness AI to create more value for customers and break free from data drag, are able to drive greater value. And that means they're focusing on their customers in new and creative ways. So in part 5, I introduced the speed layer as the elixir, as the ability to overcome data drag. How do you overcome data drag? You beat it with a speed layer. So we talk about in chapter 5, and we explore using machine learning and generative AI together to deliver greater value to customers. This speed layer is a framework and a canvas for real-time data-driven decision-making. This part of the book has 9 chapters, and it's a little bit more technical because I talk about things like data, and I talk about things like requirements, design, and development of this speed layer. But it's important to understand that I tried to keep it high level and business focused so that you could understand the various different technologies that are involved, the type of technologies, and how organizations are putting together an architecture of a lot of different technologies to make AI happen. AI is more than a chatbot. It's an orchestrated fabric, if you will, of decision-making and action to help people take the right decisions and put them into projects, initiatives, and take the output of those decisions to make customers more successful. So in that section of the book, I'm talking about what the speed layer is. I'm talking about how to build a speed layer, how to deliver strategic impact, and then what it means to be successful and lead. I talk through the full life cycle from requirements, design, and development and deployment of a speed layer. And I'm going to show you the canvas that we use in our workshops to help IT leaders and business people come together to architect and define their speed layer in their organization. Ultimately, the speed layer is about moving faster and smarter, transforming how organizations operate. But what I mean by that is if data drag is the evil villain, so to speak, the way that we beat that villain is with the speed layer. And that means everybody has to come together in order to understand their role in beating data drag. Let me show you what I mean by that. Let's talk about, and let me show you the speed layer design canvas that makes up the entire part 5 of the book. The speed layer canvas starts in chapter 24, and it's a design tool, much like a business model canvas for designing real-time data-driven decision-making. It's powered by machine learning and generative AI to enable personalized experiences. At the top of the canvas, you see all the data and IT architecture governance decisions that need to happen. Governing AI is a huge strategic priority. I believe you're going to start seeing more and more roles that have to do with data governance and AI governance. This is the policy and structure that ensures data is managed properly. Things like data processes, security, risk management, and how it ties into enterprise architecture. It's critical to move and think about governance early, to have a strong governance approach to avoid creating more silos and more friction. At the bottom of the speed layer canvas, you have DevOps practices. These are the engineering and deployment and scaling practices that help IT run smoothly. This includes development, optimization, automation, and security. This is where digital transformation happens, and the ability to move bits and bytes around, if you will, and protect your valuable data resources. But the middle between these things, between governance and the ability to deploy projects, is the concept of the speed layer. The speed layer in the middle is where the magic happens. It's where data is captured, it's where it's produced, it's where it's processed and turned into valuable action. Data is a fossil fuel. You have to extract that fossil fuel, and you have to be able to refine it and use it in order to have combustion in an engine. Think of it like an engine where data producers push data into the system on the left, and the orchestration layer moves the data through to the right. You have this ability to transform data into knowledge and information and eventually wisdom. The key idea here is that we need to think about this fossil fuel, much like Ilya Sutskever, the co-founder and former chief scientist of OpenAI, talks about. Everybody needs this fossil fuel, and that's what this canvas represents. It's powered by the machine learning engine on the left. This machine learning engine processes data through ingesting, storing, and enriching it. And then the AI guidance and generative AI system publishes and delivers personalized, meaningful, and data-driven, valuable information. Think of this as the generative AI technology deployed in your own organization. We're not talking about building our own models here. What we're talking about is leveraging platform models in the speed layer to bring our own context and our own proprietary data to bear. These might seem like difficult concepts, but once you understand how the speed layer canvas can bring it all together and bring together not only the technology view, but the business process logic, you can accelerate your roadmap for AI. As I talk about when I lead the one-day workshop on this speed layer canvas and the AI blueprint, organizations are at various stages of implementing this speed layer. A simple canvas like this has the ability to bring people together. And ultimately, the speed layer enables organizations to move faster, make smarter decisions, and unlock potential. That's why I hope to see you at one of my webinars or locally as I bring the AI lead workshops and strategy sessions out into the market. So these are the concepts in the 5 sections of the book. We've covered everything, as you can hear, from the initial concept of what is data, all the way through to a little more sophisticated speed layer canvas, which the speed layer is the elixir and the way in which you beat data drag. And those concepts all need to work together. It's in the book so that you can actually find value and drive value in your organization. That means the book is pretty large, and it's designed to be a field guide and a reference guide. It's definitely not something you're going to sit and read through in one setting. But as you struggle with something and as you find something that you need to think through or even take action on, the book is organized in a bulleted, easy to read format around the specific questions that you have. So how do you get started taking the AI lead? The first step is identifying where data drag is. What is data drag? Where is it? And how do you tackle it? If data drag is the inefficiencies or barriers that slow down how your data flows and creates value for your customers, it's important to think outside in, not inside out. By pinpointing these pain points, you can start clearing the path for smoother AI integration. Next, you have to find a portfolio of quick wins, starting small with pilots, being able to actually deploy AI internally. Quick wins are practical, actionable improvements. I know on LinkedIn and a variety of different places, there are people building end-to-end bots right out of the bat, or agents and how they all orchestrate. I encourage you to recognize that those are in a lab environment in many cases, and to think through specific data and processes that you want to bring together. That's how you get quick wins. It's the data plus the business logic that the speed layer canvas brings together so that you can drive actionable quick wins. The third thing you can do is have a plan and a strategy. Too much trial and error is learning without direction. What do I mean by that? Well, I mean, have a plan, be intentional. I see a lot of people in trial and error. And I think it's important to tinker. I think it's incredibly important to figure it out as we go. But what's your intent? What I mean by that is, if you're applying effort without a clear path to improvement or measurable results, you end up in tutorial hell, or you end up in constant random scrolling. and you end up with a lot of different inputs with no way to process them. Nothing will connect, and your own learning will be detached, and quite frankly, it'll be biased based on your inputs. The key here is to learn with others and share your work. And that's the importance of the AI Lead as a foundational resource to figure out how to tackle this AI opportunity. Now's the time to start executing with clarity and purpose. With these steps, identifying the challenges, achieving quick wins, and building an intentional plan, you'll be well on your way to transforming your organization one initiative at a time, actually one use case at a time, and one process at a time. The way that hopefully can help you is to actually figure out where to implement. And I wanted to build the AI Lead with the tools and resources you need to actually implement AI and put these things into action. And that's why I built the field guide. In the field guide, which you'll be able to access here at the end of this webinar, are all the tools, checklists, and frameworks and diagnostics and an entire dictionary that are in the AI Lead book. I pulled those out, pulled the tools out, pulled the diagnostics out, pulled out the dictionary, the lexicon around this, and put it in the field guide. The field guide, I believe, is a critical component here because there is no one size fits all. Every organization, it has different challenges, have different people at different stages of digital literacy, people that have their own needs and their organizational structures, their view on governance, the level of maturity around data, the resources they have, the skills that they have. Every organization is different. With the actual field guide, you'll be able to think through where are we and get real and practical about what it's going to take to get from where you are to where you need to be. The speed layer can help create a faster and more flexible approach. Also, the field guide helps you leverage AI from automating tasks, uncovering hidden patterns, and making informed decisions. This field guide is a toolkit for taking action, helping you and your team implement what you've learned. And this will be yours free at the end of this webinar in this virtual book launch. If you watch this later because it's recorded, if you tag and you hashtag data drag, I'll send it to you. I wrote the AI Lead to blend business and technology together. It isn't just a strategy. I wanted to have and equip you with hands-on resources to help you take the AI Lead and create an actionable roadmap. So with the book and the field guide combined, you actually have everything you need to move beyond ideas and topics into starting to implement. Before we move to the Q&A, I want to take a moment and thank you all for celebrating the launch of the AI Lead with me. A big thank you to Scott from Salesforce for writing the foreword of the book and for kicking off this event in such an insightful way. There are 4 actions I'd love to give you as I'm looking through the Q&A here. Let me give you these 4 actions and then we'll get into the Q&A. The first thing I'd recommend is, hey, you know what? Buy the book. Anywhere books are sold, 30,000 different locations. And if you find that it's valuable, please leave a review. I'll also say, I'll get the field guide. Get in the field, make something happen in the organization, and start small. Tag Data Drag if you want to receive a copy of the guide, and I'll show you the link with you here in a minute that allows you to download these slides as well as the field guide. The other thing that I recommend is join an upcoming workshop. If you go to AILeadTour.com, you'll see a variety of different locations where we're running one-day strategy sessions. On first day is half a day is strategy. The second half is designing your own speed layer. The fourth thing I recommend is staying connected. Join the Digital Command community for ongoing resources, networking opportunities, and updates. This is just the beginning of a really an entirely new age. We'll be moving from the industrial age to the AI age. We're in a different era. This is just the beginning, and it's important to start. It's important to engage, and it's important to ask those questions. With that said, let's dive into the questions that we have. I've prepared a couple of these. If you have other questions, go ahead and chat them in the box. But as I've been engaging for the last year or so, I get the same questions over and over again. So to be honest with you, I went ahead and put some in here because all the questions that I get. The first one is, my company won't let me do any of this AI stuff. What should I do? And that is a challenge. The analogy I use there is much like Amazon. Amazon for B2C and consumers, we can have a lot of customization and personalization at our fingertips, while in the B2B space inside of organizations, we may not have that concierge white glove experience that we get in the consumer side. And I think that's important to think about. What happens in your shopping experience may not be how your organization actually engages others when people are buying from them, things like that. So think about it in two worlds. You have what you do on your own computer, perhaps on nights and weekends, and what you're doing with AI and what you're learning about AI, and then what's happening inside your organization. It's important to understand the policies that you have in your organization and not go rogue and deploy your own AI, for example, or use AI out of compliance. There are some serious things that need to happen with cybersecurity. There are a lot of challenges with AI security and bringing in your own content, if you will, and your own chats, et cetera. You need to follow the lead of your organization to protect your organization. With that said, there probably is some pilots going on. Every organization is piloting something. I think 72% of organizations are piloting some sort of AI. Try to figure out what that is if you want to be involved and try to help. And also stay up on the research externally as you see where things are going. I equate this to much like any new technology. At first, you're not going to see it inside the organization. And then 6 months later, it will eventually make its way in. And you have to let the policies and procedures work through. The second question I get is why AI at all? Isn't it going to, be a risk, or perhaps, there's just too much to learn? Isn't AI for the techie people? That's a big one I get. Why the rush? Why jump in? Here's my take. I don't think people are rushing blindly into AI. I think organizations are taking an intentional path, and I think you do too. As a human, you dabble and you do what you're comfortable with. The thing they recognize, though, is that AI isn't coming. AI is already here. And I think that's the big mindset shift is people are like, oh, eventually it's coming. No, actually, it's already here. It's woven into customer interactions, business processes, and decision making, whether it's at your bank, when you watch Netflix. There's a lot of AI, even on your phone today. The companies that wait for it to be completely perfect or fully understood are going to be late adopters, and that might be part of the strategy. But others are going to try to seize the moment here, and it's kind of like the early adopters on the internet, or the early adopters of those crazy things called automobiles as you were riding a horse, or the idea of a washing machine that used electricity when you lived out in the prairie of the United States. So these new technologies at first are a little bit off-putting, but if you look at who lays the foundation of these different eras, it's usually the early adopters. It's the people that embrace the internet early. It's the people who have, figured out how to produce steel for the industrial age, right? So because we're in the AI age and artificial intelligence and data are the fossil fuels, you need to kind of get comfortable with that. Let's see. Oh, the next one is why. What about AI taking my job? Should I be worried? AI is already changing your job. I think also AI is impacting jobs. I also see new jobs coming online. And I would ask you to think about where are the new jobs needed? And what I just shared throughout this webinar, there are a lot of opportunities. For example, AI ethics. Another example is prompt engineer, or perhaps prompt quality control. There's what I would call AI observability. When you provide a chat prompt, what are you getting back? And are you measuring that? How would you know if it's within tolerance? There's AI safety, making sure that it's within guardrails and parameters. From a marketing perspective, how do you make sure that the AI produces stuff that's on brand? There are a lot of jobs. I could probably talk another hour about all the different types of jobs. And I think maybe we'll do a webinar on that in the future. But I would encourage you to think through, not with your existing paradigm of the org chart, but within the context of how do you use AI to generate value for customers, and remove yourself from your current org chart and think about what it means. And in chapter 3 of the book, I talk about the evolution of implementers and to what I call synthesis, and what Scott Santucci calls orchestrators, and the ability to orchestrate and synthesize data across multiple different organizations, ecosystems, and even data systems are where a lot of value will be created. And then the last one is, how does this AI apply to me? That's a great question. And I like when people ask me this one. I think it's great. What about my job? Let's be honest. It's one of those things where you can choose to apply AI in the manner that makes sense to you. I know and understand that people, are resistant to change, etc. And that's an important distinction. And each person has their own view, and that's important. But here's the truth: you don't need permission to start future proofing yourself. Even if your organization is intentionally going to slow roll AI, you personally can explore it by starting small and focusing on building your digital fluency. And that's really what I talked about today, is understanding how all this works at a high level and how business value is created. It gives you the tools and the frameworks to start thinking about this. All right, we're running short on time. If you go to the microsite ailead.digitalcommand.co, not com.co, ailead.digitalcommand.co, there's a button that says get the field guide, and you can download it there. That's where you can get the field guide. I hope that helps you. I would love your feedback on the field guide, and also, get the book. All of the content from the field guide is in the book, and how you do all that stuff is in the book. So that's your free resource for attending today. And I hope you download it. And then the last piece here is, take the next step. Buy the book, comment Data Drag, get the field guide, and hopefully I'll see you on a future webinar at digitalcommand.co/webinars. I really want to thank you for your time and for making this event a success. After 4 years of work, the AI Lead is finally here, and it's available. And I couldn't be more proud of the impact that it's having. And I can't thank enough the people that have been involved along the way, from my friends, from my wife, my family, who let me, spend so much time, to my mom and dad for all their influence and support in being curious and embracing technology early. With that said, we're almost out of time, and I appreciate it. So I'm going to wrap up the webinar. I hope to see you out and around at our AI Lead Tour events. Thanks, everybody, for joining today, and take the AI lead.